All right, everybody, what's happening? We're back and we're live, the Nashville Restaurant Review Show. My name is Ragni. I'm here with my new friend, Mr. D Revolution, or you can call him D Rev. He is
Hey,
one of our
what's going on, everybody?
he's gonna be one of our vendors there this Saturday at the 404 Bar and Grill at 404. I can't even pronounce that name. Elysion
Elysian or something like that.
Field Road. It's right off Nolensville Pike. It's in between the zoo and Plaza Mariachi. It's right there. It can't be missed. We're going to be set up in the parking lot. A whole bunch of us. Look for the tables, look for the tents, and look for the people having a good time because they're out there shopping. We're going to have some good food, good drinks, and we're going to have some music inside so you can come and dance too if you want. But you got to stop and see this guy because he's going to have, tell everybody what you're going to have.
I'm gonna have books and T-shirts, some of the best the world's greatest T-shirts, and some of the most amazing written books. I am a author. I tell great stories. I've been studying storytelling for 30 years, and another good landmark to find that restaurant. If you know where the Hibachi Grill is or Rena Center, it's like maybe across the street. It's across the street from that. On that, or the kind of diagonal across the street is right in that area.
Those landmarks are key right there. Now, I didn't realize I knew about the T-shirts and all, but I didn't realize too that you're an author, poet, storyteller. What? How long you been doing that for?
Well, actually, that's really my passion. The T-shirts is sort of an extension of that because the T-shirts I sell have a lot of great. I'm a wordsmith, so the T-shirts have a lot of poetic quotes on them, and then we sell legendary legends on some of our T-shirts: Marvin Gaye, John Coltrane, John Lennon, Bob Marley, and then you have other shirts that I sell that are just poetic, great quotes on T-shirts by Nelson Mandela or some of my personal quotes. Um, just different things, different metaphors, like great T-shirts that you'll never be able to find anywhere else. So because I was a storyteller, I love storytelling. I went to film school in Chicago. I'm from Chicago,
Oh
and
wow.
um, I um, I started poetry because I love words and I was telling stories that I witnessed some things in Chicago, and one thing led to another, and then I started writing books to tell my story. But I initially started writing screenplays. I've
Okay.
written about maybe five screenplays, and then I started writing books because the screenplays didn't do nothing but just sit here. So I realized I could sell books. And so I'm a master storyteller, been studying the art for 30 years.
That's amazing. That's something I've always wanted to get into, but I never had the patience to sit down and do it.
Yeah, that's really the hardest part is being disciplined and being able to actually sit down. I'm working on my third book now, and the hardest part is well, at least the hardest part for me is actually sitting down and doing it. That's always been hard for me. Finding the time. You have a lot of things going on, and then you have to find the time to actually sit down and write. And it has, you want to be able to concentrate on what you're doing, and sometimes life just doesn't allow that. So, like this book that I'm writing right now, it's taking a little bit longer than I had planned for it to take.
So the books, do you have like a website that people can get them on as well, or is it available
Yeah,
like through
I have a
Amazon?
website. Yeah, I have a website for the books and the t-shirts.
Okay.
The website for the t-shirts is oldschoolworld.com. Exactly how it sounds. Oldschoolworld.com is where you can take a look at the t-shirts that'll be set up on Saturday. And the books website is called blackbooksforus.com. Exactly how it sounds. Black Books for Us. Well written books, great stories, and you can go to either one of those websites and see the products that I'm going to sell this Saturday.
That's awesome. Now we had an amazing conversation before we went live. You actually, so you've been doing the whole vendor circuit, we'll say, for over 10 years now.
Yes, I started in 2012. I started my t-shirt business in 2012, and here it is 2022, and I'm still learning things all the time every time I set up. It doesn't feel like that long, and um, we were just talking about and I actually had to take a little bit of time off in between there, but it's been 10 years, now, and it's fun, it
Sure.
is it's fun to do, vending. It can be very fun because I get to meet new people, and I sell with a purpose. So every time somebody buy something very positive, cool, and where I feel like I'm giving my contribution to the world. Or buy my books. My books is written with a purpose. It's the same thing. So it's very fulfilling for me.
These events too um, are amazing because you get a lot of one-on-one interaction with your customers that can turn into friendships and long-term customers, and the same with the vendors around you. You start to see these people, they become your quote unquote neighbors that you strike up these amazing friendships with. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I want to give a shout out to Lawanda. I would not know you if I wasn't working with her. So I just want to say, I just want to give a shout out to her for connecting me with you.
Hey,
And
I'll tell you what, she's awesome. She was the first show I did because I have a table too set up for vending, and she was my neighbor, and we had a ball that day.
oh
We had
wow,
so much fun. Yeah, she's great people.
yeah. She's fun. She's funny, funny. We would crack jokes all the time, and she would tease me all the time, and Luanda's real cool, but absolutely vending, I think, is a very good business to be in. You get to meet so many people, and it's actually pretty fun. You get to meet other vendors, and you get to meet customers, and people that may support you for years. So running a vending business or running a business, customer service is good. Customer service is very important all the way around, even if you're vending,
Absolutely.
because the people that support you, that those are people that may come back and support you down the line, and
Mhm.
trust me, you want to make that money.
Absolutely. What do you think is your top selling shirt?
It changes. All of the shirts are awesome, so it changes up. I actually write down every sale that I make, and I
Mhm.
look at at the end of a weekend or so. I look at what I sold the most of, and it changes up all the time. I have a Beastie Boys shirt. I would
Nice.
say that's probably was my top seller last year overall. Is Beastie Boys,
Really?
but John Coltrane was a big seller as well. So it just really depends on. I don't know. It just really depends on the demographic of where I'm at. But the Beastie Boys was a pretty good seller last year, and I think, if off the top of my head, I would. That was the first shirt that I thought of that I in 2021. But all my shirts at one time or another have been bestsellers, and
Right.
it's an energy. It just really depends on the energy that's out there. Sometimes I may set up, everybody might just flock to one particular shirt. I don't know
Mhm.
why they do that, but it happens, so I can't cheat myself and say one's better than the other. I can tell you there are a few that sell slower.
Sure.
Well, I guess that's the same question, but there's a couple of them that don't sell as well as others, but most of them, I would say 90% of them have been bestsellers at one point or another.
Yeah, I mean that's a that it's like a whole thing that goes through like trends. It seems
That goes to what?
goes through trends.
Oh yeah,
Whatever
yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever's trending at the time.
Yeah, so for instance, like I had a Muhammad Ali shirt, and when Muhammad Ali died, that's the shirt that everybody bought. Or, there may be something on a documentary or something may come out,
Mhm.
and I might have a shirt with Rick James. But something I've been selling way before, something like that. People flock to that shirt because they've seen the documentary. It just really depends on what's going on, what people are familiar with at the time, and what they're looking at on TV or hearing on the radio, or so.
I can't wait to see what you got. Especially if you're saying you got a Rick James shirt. If I see
I actually don't have a Rick James. I'll just make it. I don't have a Rick James shirt.
What was that Rick James? Yeah, that album was so influential in my childhood.
I don't know the name.
Freak on it. I forget what it was.
I don't know the name of the album, but I know a lot of his songs. As a matter of fact, there's a doc. I don't know if you've seen a documentary on him on Showtime, but it was really, really good.
I love documentaries.
Yeah, there's a Rick James documentary that came out on Showtime maybe about 6 months ago. It's really good. Ooh, it's really good. Yeah.
I gotta look.
But now that we're talking about it, I might look up some Rick James t-shirts. Who knows?
There you go. He could be ended up in your on your table soon.
Oh yeah. I mean, those are the type I like the stuff that I grew up with. Music, shirts that you're not going to see everywhere. Stuff that's gonna take you back, and so. I haven't quite gotten to Rick James, but I have a Bruce Lee shirt. I mean, he was a Bruce Lee fan. I grew up with him. So icons like that, Bruce Lee, Bob Marley. I don't have any more Muhammad Ali shirts, but I don't just sell artists. I sell quotable T-shirts as well and good books, But some people just like what's written on some of the shirts. And some people like the legends, like John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Billie Holiday. I have those shirts. And then the Beastie Boys, I grew up with them. So, basically, all the shirts really represent the culture I grew up in growing up, with music. And then I'm a wordsmith and I love words. So it's a mixture of all of that. You'll get to see them Saturday because we're going to have a good time on Saturday.
We are. As a matter of fact, remind me Saturday to tell you this cool Bob Marley story from a friend.
Cool. I will.
From a friend that had a personal experience with him. It's a cool story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got to share the story.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to forget that. So, no doubt.
So, D-Rev, for the people outside of the Nashville area that can't be there Saturday, where can everybody find you again for your shirts and your books online so they can order?
Okay, it's free shipping on both websites.
Okay.
You can order the awesome t-shirts at oldschoolworld.com, and then you can order the books at blackbooksforus.com. And it's free shipping on everything. So you can order at those two sites. Everything is stocked up there, and you can order. And anytime those sites has been up, the t-shirt site has been up for about 7 or 8 years. A+ with Better Business Bureau, and the book website has been up for like 3 years. So definitely, we believe in doing good business, and you will get your orders fast, and no shipping costs, which is a good thing right now.
That's
these
amazing.
gas prices going up, postal rates are really high, so that not paying for shipping is really a good thing right now. Plus, you'll be getting a great product. So I think that's our time. Is it?
It is, and actually, my next guest, he's also a poet who's going to have some of his books there. So you guys should, do some talking on Saturday.
Oh, absolutely. What is his name?
He's the Shoebox Poet.
Okay, yeah, I seen that in the email. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, D-Rev, thank you, man. I look forward to meeting you in person on Saturday, and thanks for doing this, and we're going to have some fun.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Take care, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Here he is. Guest number 2, the Shoebox Poet himself. How you doing, Clarence?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited to meet you too. You were one of the first ones that hopped on board, and this is going to be my third event, and you're my official first author slash poet that we're going to have vending. So it's exciting.
Well, it's an honor. Didn't know that. I've been writing for over 20 years, but
Wow.
a lot of
Okay.
my poetry hasn't been published, except in anthologies. I have like 5 of them that I've been published in during that time, and it's just one poem with a bunch of other poets and stuff.
Sure.
Back in 2019, I decided that I was going to, finally publish my own books, and I started self-publishing. And I have 7 books published right now.
Wow.
And I have one that I just gotta come up with a name for and start laying out the design for.
Now, when you are putting these books together, like how many poems are you putting in each book?
I really don't keep up with the poem count. It's probably a bad thing that I really don't know when it comes to, but on average, it's either between 100 to 120 pages,
Wow.
and it just depends on how long I waited before I published. The book I got, I've been sitting on it since last year.
Wow. That's a lot. That's how often are you writing? Are you like writing every day, or when it comes to you, or
Usually, when it comes to me, I used to write a lot every day, but it kind of got away from it just with everything else.
Mhm.
Pandemic. Trying to find a job, doing things like that.
Sure.
It kind of got about a wayside. But
Now actually I was going to go there, and you brought it up, the pandemic. During that time, were you writing more?
I was writing more. I published 2 books that year,
Wow.
and it was kind of hard. I published it's supposed to be an erotica book. It's actually more sensual than anything.
Okay.
Not really happy with. I do have copies of it to sell, but I'm just not really happy with it. So I'm planning on trying to do a relaunch of that one later on.
Were you when you first started to release your own books, were you nervous?
Pretty much, because you really don't know how everything's going to go. You don't know if anybody will buy it. You don't know
Right.
if or what the mindset of people, thought about when you're writing this book. And I kind of realized that it doesn't matter what they think. I did this for myself at this point. That there's something as a goal in my life I wanted to do,
That's
and
the
to
way
be
to
able
do
to
it.
get it, which a lot of people, publishing that first book, they bought copies of it. That was, it's my number one selling book. I mean, it's not
Wow.
on websites and stuff. It's not number one selling, but it's the most books that I have sold at that the first book.
Now, what kind of topics do you write about? Is it anything in particular, or are you just anything that comes to mind? What strikes you?
It's pretty much whatever comes to mind. It's, how I'm feeling that day, or something that, kind of made me think, or a conversation I had with somebody, and just some things I pulled from that conversation to write into a poem, or using word prompts, just different things. I don't have any themes in my books. So when
Hmm.
you start reading the book, you're getting what it is from one point to the next, probably in my life. During the pandemic, I mean, there's a lot that was going on, and I wrote some things that was in there. You know, and when you're by yourself and you're secluded, so you kind of like go off the rails a little bit. So
Oh, sure, absolutely, absolutely. I think some of us are still going off the rails.
pretty much, but hey,
Yeah, absolutely. Do you, so? How about do you get like do you get real personal with your stuff? Like sometimes songwriters will really pour their heart out. Is a lot of stuff from the heart with you, or
yes, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of women that I knew over the years that are in the pages of those books, that I have written, something about them,
Hmm.
whether it was a good experience or a bad. It's the same way with any friends or just a random stranger. Just something that kind of inspired me to write something. Even if it's music.
Right. Now the name, the Shoebox Poet, where did that come from?
The Shoebox Poet came from, it was coined by a guy that I was hanging out with in this poetry group that I created back in 2019. It really didn't get off the ground because there really wasn't any, people that really wanted to do poetry together during that time.
Mm-hmm.
And when we met, and I told him, I said, during that time that I was writing my poetry, I was just sticking it in the shoebox. And it was just old Voight's shoebox, and just anything I wrote, any kind of, peanut bags, strips, or notebook paper or anything, just stuck it in that box. And over time, that slowly grew into being to where I just go in there and I'll pull something out and either edit it or use it as it is. So he said,
it sounds like you have it sounds like you have a big literally a shoebox full of things that you could be pulling from at any time.
Yes, shoebox and a tote full of notebooks.
Shoebox sounds better than the Tote Poet.
Yeah.
Now, how about buying stuff online? Can people who would not be in the Nashville area get your books online?
Yes, it's www.shoeboxpoet.com.
Nice.
And you can buy my books over there, and I can autograph them and send them to you. And I'm also going to be selling bookmarks that I created. And I've been taking pictures and stuff and making those into bookmarks. Some of them have quotes from the books, and some of them just have random things on them.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to meeting you, and we're going to have a good time on Saturday.
I'm looking forward to it.
Now, have you done these in the past, or is this your first time doing this? Or
well, this is the first time doing this, but I have done a couple of shows before. I usually do one through a group called the Poetry Playground.
Okay.
And they get together from time to time, and I used to do vending there with them. They are doing every first and third Saturday of the month. They're doing Outspoken up in Nashville at every Everything Bar up in Nashville off of Brick Church Pike.
Okay. That's
and it's
cool.
a bunch of poets who do poetry or spoken word.
Nice. Now, do you do that? Do you get up and recite your poetry anywhere? Or?
I do. I do it there and anywhere that anybody's doing any kind of shows. I'm just getting back into doing it. I kind of got out of it for a while, but just getting back into it.
Well, actually, you just rung a bell in my head, and I'm going to throw this out to you. And I know D Rev is still watching. When I met with the owner the other day of the 404 Bar and Grill, he said you're more than welcome to get up and recite your poetry if you want. So the offer is there. He's looking forward to meeting everybody, and he's welcoming everybody with open arms, and he's looking forward to it. So the offer's there for you guys.
Okay.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. I'll definitely keep in mind.
Yeah. He's really excited. He's really excited to have everybody there, and he wants everybody to feel at home, and the stage is yours if you want it.
Okay.
So again, where should we send everybody if they're not in the Nashville area? If they are in the Nashville area, 404 Bar and Grill is where we're sending you. But if you're not, where should we send them?
It's www.shoeboxpoet.com. And if you can't find any books there, you can go on Amazon.com and put in Clarence Plank in the search engine, and you will find all my books. Because It's either on Kindle or paperback and hardback.
Great. Clarence, thank you for being part of this. Thanks for doing the show tonight. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person on Saturday.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's good talking to you. And D Revolution, I'm looking forward to meeting him too.
It's going to be fun. Can't wait.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. And here comes our last guest. Here she is, the one and only Steph B. Inspired. What's up, Steph? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bay?
I'm doing great. Now, you are somebody who I really need to, first off, let me thank you, because I would be sitting here like a complete fool if it wasn't for you. You sent the email, so I sent an email out to everybody this morning saying, hey, here's the info for tonight, here's the link. And it was like 6 hours later and I had 0 responses. And I was just, until you answered and said, hey, is the thing still on tonight? And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I sent the email to myself and nobody else. So thank you for making the save. And so then I start going through and I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, you're somebody who I should be talking to more. And I think we're going to talk, especially this Saturday, possibly because you're doing music. You're got your hands into everything.
I kind of do.
Because you were, when you approached me, you were like saying you make custom like shirts and custom everything.
Well, I hustle vintage clothes, vintage and upscale secondhand clothing and accessories.
That's it. So, okay.
But I'm also going to be available to talk to people about some of the services that I provide. I was previously a licensed therapist working in the mental health field, and I retired my license midway through 2020 during the pandemic and transitioned
at the prime time when everybody needed you. Why did you retire it then?
Well, it was in the prime time of self-reflection and reevaluating work and life and how I wanted to exist in the space of helping people. And so, I've kind of rebranded and I call myself a creative healing artist. And so it's my little niche of life coaching and spiritual consulting and just being a helper.
I'm looking forward to talking to you and learning more about you because you got a lot going on and I want to find out more.
Yeah.
You also you're involved in some music. I want to hear about this. Like, so basically, kind of sound like you wanted to take the professional career you had and evolve it into Steph B. Inspired and be your own creative entity to really inspire and help people.
That's exactly right. I felt an uncomfortable dichotomy between myself and the role that I had to play as a therapist and the self that I feel is more my authentic self, myself as an artist. And it's in my nature to want to help people and be there for people in that capacity. But the box that I had to operate within in that field, I just didn't fit in it. And so I made a decision to step outside the box.
How freaking scary was that?
It's funny because when I made the decision, I felt very spiritually directed in that decision, and I sort of just it's like, okay, this is what I need to do. And it was kind of like the scary part came later, when it all sort of sunk in, like, oh my God, what have I done? And really settling into the realm of self-employment, having really no idea what I'm doing. But it's been interesting. And kind of picking up these side hobbies or interests or side hustles of ways to bring in extra income. It's been fun. You know, I love fashion and funky fashion and going and treasure hunting and stuff like that. And for me, it's actually a really nice complement and a nice balance to the other kind of work that I do. So
Mm.
it's been interesting.
Yeah, because that's also what me and my fiance do. We're like you. We're the treasure hunters
Oh
of.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Do you
Oh
go to
yeah.
estate sales?
We get everywhere. Whether
Oh
it's
yeah.
thrift stores, Goodwills, estate sales, everything. Yard sales, garage, everywhere. Yeah. My house is like I have. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, so how about like the music now?
hmm So, music has always been a really big part of my life. I was signed to a record label that was based in Germany when I was 14 years old. And so I released an album and toured over there. And during that time, I started writing my own music, and it became really important to me to have control over my art and my image and different things like that. Um, and I was also a very stubborn teenager and was pretty unwilling to compromise on what I wanted. You know, which sometimes I look back on now and I'm like, you know, I wonder what would have happened if I had stuck it out a little bit longer. But um, at the time when it was time for me to resign, I, you know, I wasn't really willing to compromise. And I admired that in my younger self. You know what I mean? So I ended up going to a couple different music schools for undergrad, and kind of had a similar thing. It was like I don't really like people telling me what to do, especially
I can relate to that.
when it comes to my art. So I had to pick something else that I found interesting to study, and I landed on psychology. So I finished up undergraduate and didn't really have any intentions to do anything with that degree until later on in life. And then you know, there's a lot of things in between the story, but I'll fast forward. I ended up going to grad school for counseling when I was in my mid 20s, and was actually going to try and get a PhD in psychology after I finished that. And that didn't happen. And when that didn't happen, it sort of opened up the door again of like, oh, okay. What have I been neglecting in my life?
Hmm.
And music was a really big one of those things. And music was actually a big part of why I moved to Nashville. I've been here almost 10 years. And that was one of the big intentions of me moving here. And it took me, you know, about 7 years after I'd been here to finally really commit to doing something with my music again. So I released an EP last year, and my a big thing of what I spent last year doing was learning how to do my own music production, which is
Nice.
something I wanted to do ever since I walked away from my record deal. But I've always been intimidated by technology.
Hmm.
But the producer that I worked on my EP with, Paul Ebersold, after we finished the EP, we started working on some new stuff. And you know, I've spent so much time as an artist and a songwriter kind of sitting next to the producer and watching and seeing what they do. And so there was a lot of, you know, move this over here and, you know, so I have those bones, and he really encouraged me, you know, with the new songs that we were working on. Like, I think you need to take over, and I'll, you know, be there as a consultant and advisor. But um, he, gave me the push to kind of step up and start exploring that realm, and it's been great. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's like that's one end of the music thing. Like again, in my younger days, like you, like I would like be intimidated by and scared of. And now it's like I'm kicking myself in the ass. Like I wish I like instead of trying to like be a rock star or worry about partying and all that stuff, I should have like tuned in on that stuff because that's the more important end you realize in the end.
Well, it's not too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
So now where are you from originally?
I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. That's where
Okay.
all my extended family still lives there. But my family moved to Orlando, Florida when I was 3. So that's where I grew up.
Okay. Cool.
Hmm.
Nice. Yeah, like I saw the website real quick and I was like, oh, I got to dive into this more and I want to listen to the music and yeah, we're going to talk a lot more on Saturday.
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So how about you now? Where do you have a website set up for your vintage clothing or just the music and stuff? Or
I don't have my shop added to my store yet.
okay.
That's something I've been thinking about. I do have a Poshmark account,
Okay.
but I have so much more stuff than I have listed on my closet on there. So the best way for people right now to get to have an opportunity to see what I've got is to come out when I'm vending at events, and 404 is actually the place where I started vending last summer. So those are my
Really?
people over there. Yes.
Oh, nice. So you know
Mhm.
Henrik.
Yes, I do.
I
Yes,
love that
absolutely.
guy.
I know,
Love
he's
that
great.
guy. Him,
Hmm.
Shaggy.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes.
keep telling Shaggy I'm going to steal his coat.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome. Cool. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun
Heck
time
yes.
Saturday. And
Yeah.
yeah, we got a lot of talking to do.
Sounds great. Looking forward to
Sounds
it.
good. Steph, thanks so much. Thanks to
Thank you.
everybody for being a part of tonight. Thanks for not making me look like an idiot and sit here by myself. And,
Yeah.
and everybody, Saturday will be there. Well, setup's at 10:30. Don't come until we'll probably be set up and ready to go by 11:30, I'm sure. So once we're set up, we're rolling with it. We'll be there till 3:00. We'll have vendors in the parking lot, inside, food and drink specials. He's going to have DJ Pal spinning music. And you never know if the Shoebox Poet or D-Rev, or maybe if you want to get up and do a song. You never
Cool.
know what's going to happen. Let's have some fun. Saturday, 404 Bar and Grill is the place to be. Until then, see you, everybody.